Good afternoon, or actually, is it evening? It's 5:22. Would you consider this evening or afternoon? I would consider it late afternoon. Okay, but good afternoon, evening. I want to continue a discussion that we started this morning. And it is all about relationship satisfaction. And one of the things that I was talking about at length this morning was about the importance of making sure our relationships feel good, making sure there is a measure of satisfaction within our relationships. So the relationship is not just about how long it's lasted, right? That's what our culture wants to give everyone a medal for. Oh, you've been in a relationship for a year, and then 5 years, and then 8 years, and then 12 years, and then 20 years, 30 years, 40 years. See? Forget the fact that those people may not have felt good, may not have, been happy. They may have been miserable, but, I stayed in my marriage. And so one of the things that I've been telling a lot of my couples lately is that the goal is not a number. The goal is to feel good in your relationship or your marriage. The goal is to want to be in this relationship or marriage, and you actually tell people that. That's the goal. The goal is relationship satisfaction, right? So when I'm working with couples, I tell them my goal is not just to keep you together. Like that's actually not hard. I can keep you together. I can, bribe you. You can bribe each other to stay married. And that's what a lot of men do. They say it's cheaper to keep her. So forget the fact that they're miserable. Forget the fact that they're starved of physical intimacy. Forget the fact that, they don't feel acknowledged or seen or heard. Forget all of that. They're like, no, it's cheaper to keep her. I got to stay in this marriage. I may be miserable. I may, but it's cheaper to keep her. And so, no, that is not the goal for my marriage therapy, my marriage counseling. The goal for my marriage counseling is to make sure that the needs of both people, men and women, are being met relatively consistently. So I have this percentage framework that I work in, okay? So if we were talking about 100% of the time, 100% that you feel amazing, this person is wonderful, loving, kind, everything about them is amazing, right? 100% of the time. Now we know that's not realistic, but here's my goal. I want you to feel great at least 70% of the time. And if you get to 80, then you're really doing something. Most people, 80% is the top of the mountain, because we got to leave that other 20% for life. We got to leave that other 20% for PMS and bad moods and pregnancy and I lost my job and I threw my back out, right? We got to keep that 20% for all the little idiosyncrasies that's going to happen in our life. And we have to be willing to recognize, my person's got their stuff. That's what the 20% is for. That person's stuff goes into 20%. But 70 to 80% of the time in your relationship, you should be able to say, this feels good. Like, I'm glad I did this. I'm glad I'm with this person. I'm glad I'm doing life with this person. And, I love this person. I look forward to being with this person and hanging out with this person. We're a good team. We have each other's back. That should happen 70 to 80% of the time. And so sometimes my couples will come in and they'll say, I'll tell them about the percentage score. So what's the percentage of how often this relationship or this marriage feels good to you? And some of them come in and they say 30%. They say 40%, 50%. And I say, okay, we have work to do. Because if it's below 50, you need to leave it. Like if half the time you don't feel good, you don't get any value out of it, you need to go. But if you're at 50, I can get you to 70 or 80. I can teach you the skills necessary to get more relationship satisfaction out of your relationship or your marriage. But that's the goal. The goal is not clocking time. I know we give a lot of medals and awards for time. Oh, how long? And then in my mind, this is what you get an award for. You get an award for suffering, right? How long did you suffer? How long did you suffer in this marriage? How long did you put up with, right? But no, we shouldn't want to reward that. We should want to, he said, I'm not at 50. We should want to reward the couple that's fun, that's adventurous. We should want to reward the couple that is flirty with each other, that is still physically intimate with each other. We should want to reward that couple. The couple that, if someone asked them, hey, if you could do this all over again, would you marry this person? Would you be in the marriage you are right now? And if they say, yeah, I would. Like, those are the couples, in my opinion, they deserve an award. Because for the most part, what they have is good. They are satisfied. Like, yeah. And here's the thing I'm going to tell you. Relationship satisfaction doesn't always look like, oh, I want to do backflips. Oh, it's just fireworks. It's the greatest thing ever all the time. No, relationship satisfaction is, if I had a choice to be with or without, I choose with. So it's not always what you think it is. But it is making that decision, choosing that person again. That's what relationship satisfaction is. That, yeah, for the most part, we have more good than bad. We have more love than not. That's what relationship satisfaction looks like. But we have to stop feeling like the number is what matters. Oh, if we're just married for 40 years, that means something. Okay, sure. But not if you're miserable. Not if you're miserable. So, okay. We also talked about the dreaded percentage, and I'm actually going to look it up now. Because this percentage, okay, so they're saying 70%. Here is the source. Let me move this over. Oh, there's a law firm that is citing that number. Let me see if I can find something that's a little bit more credible. Divorce Source says 80% of women file for divorce. I got to find something more credible. So, yeah, so anywhere between 70 to 80% of divorces are initiated by women. And I listed some of those reasons earlier, that the thing that irritates me about that, the thing that irritates me about that stat is we're weaponizing it. We're weaponizing it. There are red pill people. There are people in the manosphere that are weaponizing that statistic. And the reality is this. There are a lot of marriages where the woman initiated a divorce and she needed to. Like, she needed to be out of that marriage. That marriage was abusive. That marriage was neglectful. That marriage had chronic infidelity. That marriage had verbal abuse, physical abuse, emotional abuse, mental abuse, spiritual abuse, financial abuse. That marriage was abusive. And that marriage needed to end. And so we don't talk about that. We just use that statistic. We got a CDC statistic. That might be a good, credible source. Okay, but we got to understand that when that statistic is weaponized, right? There are certain platforms that want to blame women for the state of marriage. And I vote no, we're not doing that, because everybody plays a part. Everybody plays a part in where this thing is going. It's not just women. It's not just men. Everybody plays a part. And when we do that, when we polarize the genders, we're not helping this gender war that we're in. We're hurting. We're driving the wedge even farther, men and women even farther away from each other. No, we all play a part. We all play a part. Here is a statistic that is my personal statistic. So 75% of the couples that come to see me, they come in for marriage counseling or relationship counseling. They didn't have any business even getting into a relationship. right? They weren't a good fit. They were completely incompatible. They didn't like each other. One of them or both of them were getting into the relationship for all the wrong reasons. 75%. That's most of them. Most of them get together for all the wrong reasons. And let me give you another statistic, my own. 95% of couples that are in relationships or marriage do not have good relationship skills. That's a huge problem. Most people don't have a clue how to negotiate, how to listen, how to resolve conflict, how to communicate effectively. Okay, there's all these relationship skills that we have to learn. Their emotional intelligence is low. But there are relationship skills that we need a class on. And you know what? If I was in charge of the world, if I was in charge of the country, that class would start in middle school. And then that class would go on to high school. And then that class would go on to college. You could not go out of middle school, high school, or graduate college without taking that class. Year after year after year. That's if I was in charge. If I was in charge, you couldn't get a marriage license without 6 weeks of premarital counseling by a licensed clinical professional. Not a pastor, not a preacher, not the, whoever's going to marry you, a professional to put you through your paces. And guess what? The intention is to put a seed of doubt in your mind. So that's the intention. Don't come to me when the venue is booked and all of that and you got the dress. Don't do that. Don't do that. You come to me when you're thinking about getting engaged. You come to me when you're thinking about getting married. But, let's do this work and see if that's a good idea. Because I'm going to try to put a little seed of doubt in your mind. So you go home going, I didn't know that's how she felt about that. I didn't know that's how he felt about that. That's my goal. She says, hello, can you give an example of emotional abuse? Narcissistic abuse, for sure. Emotional abuse is mind games. I consider infidelity emotional abuse. That's why even in the Bible, you can get a divorce based on infidelity. You break the covenant. When you have sex with another person, when you are sexual with another person, when you cheat with another person, when you give another person romantic attention that's meant for your spouse. I believe that's a form of emotional abuse. Okay, you are alienating me and my love and my feelings from me and my husband to my husband and another woman. So the courts recognize it and the Bible recognize it. Okay. Okay. All right. What are these relationship skills? Thank you. Communication skills, listening skills, conflict resolution skills, negotiation skills. So I need to have more physical intimacy. Well, how often do you want to have it? Well, in an ideal world, I want to have it every day. Okay, well, I can't do that every day. Like my body is not designed to withstand the pressure and everything else that comes along with, having physical intimacy. So maybe we can compromise. Maybe we can do it 3 times a week, maybe 4 times a week. Okay, well, 7 days in a week. And you say 4, I say 3. Okay, see, you're going to negotiate that. You're going to negotiate. And a lot of people do not have good negotiation skills. But that's something that can be negotiated. That you're like, okay. And now here's the other thing I'm going to tell you. So we're negotiating this, but you have to understand that my emotional needs have to be met before I can meet your physical intimacy needs. So don't ignore me until it comes time to be intimate, because that's going to make it really hard for me. The way I'm designed, like you have to pay me attention. And then, when you're ready, I'm ready. So yes, we have to have skills. We have to have skills. What do you consider getting together for the wrong reasons? Yes, strictly physical attraction. That is the number one wrong reason. Money. Somebody got pregnant. Somebody's family wants somebody to marry, whatever. It's a family thing. Oh, I think they're great. Settling. I'm getting older and I want to have some kids. Let me marry you. There's 1,000 reasons why people come together for all the wrong reasons. But the number one reason I would definitely say is just pure physical attraction. Oh boy, y'all are going to hate this. The number two reason is love. So many people are together and staying together for love alone. And and our culture has taught us that this is totally fine. It is totally fine to be with someone you love. You love each other. That's it. That's the golden ticket. It shouldn't be. It shouldn't be. Come back. You're going to come back and see me on my couch when that love starts to wane, when that love starts to get hard. It starts to get real hard to love that person. You're going to come back and see me, because it can't just be about love. People make relationship mistakes throughout our lives, for sure. Chocolate Southern gent. We have freedom to choose. We do. And a lot of us make really bad choices. Really bad choices. We learn those skills from a number of dysfunctional influences. Correct. So we have skills. We have all the wrong skills. You are exactly right. We have all the wrong skills. So look, let me tell y'all something. When my mother feel a way about something my father used to do, this is what she honestly believed was going to help the situation. What's wrong with you? Nothing. That's her skill. That's her relationship skill. That's what she thought was going to actually make that situation better. It don't. It don't. And as someone watching her do this, right? I'm watching her with an attitude, and my dad come in. What's wrong with you? Nothing. I'm all right. I'm okay, right? And I'm thinking, that's how you do it. That's how I do it. My man says something, does something, and I feel a way. But no, Anita. Don't use healthy words. Don't talk about it. Don't express how you feel. Let that sigh out. Nothing. That's what most of us are doing. Most of us are learning our skills from dysfunctional people. Most of us are learning our relationship skills from people whose relationships aren't that great. and then we wonder why our relationships aren't that great. So yeah, we need a class, we need a course, and we need to start it in, elementary, middle school. And here's the thing. That course will not just cover romantic relationships. That course will cover family relationships, friendships, how to make good friends, how to pick good people to be friends with. That relationship course covers work relationships and how to be with people at work, your colleagues, your neighbors, like your people at church. That course covers relationships, all types of relationships. It is a relational course, and we should be required to take it from middle school to high school to college and beyond. And the world would be in a different place if we did that. It really, really would. But no, our government, our world, it doesn't care about marriage. It doesn't care about healthy families. It doesn't require anything to get a marriage license. That's the license you can get without any study at all, without any road test. You just go in, I think it's $15 now, and bam, you can legally connect your life to a whole nother person. You can give another person the highest form of commitment in our land. Okay. They don't care. They don't care. And for the government, for the state, for the federal and the state and the city and the county, marriage is big business. Divorce is big business. Child support is big business. It's all big business. They make money on all of it. So of course they're like, yeah, you met someone and you've known them for 3 months, get married to them. Get married. And you know why? Because of that feeling, because of that love feeling. You must, you're spending all this time with them. You must love them. Go on and get married. Go on and get married. What kind of madness is that? And then the second one of you is not happy, you know what? You need to get divorced. You need to break up. You know, that's a sign. That's a sign right there that it's just not working. But no, they don't care. They don't care. And so you've got to do your due diligence. You've got to make sure that you learn the skills you need to learn. You've got to make sure that you have that premarital, I say pre-engagement. So you need pre-engagement counseling, and then you need premarital counseling. And the whole idea is for that person to put a seed of doubt in your mind. If that doesn't happen, then move forward. But when I tell you there are 50 conversations, I give my clients, my couples clients, I give them a document. It's called 50 Conversations to Have Before You Get Married. And it usually takes about a year to go through all of those conversations. And so we're working together as they're also having those conversations. And we're talking about everything. We're talking about money management. We're talking about children. We're talking about extended family and the role that they will play. We're talking about pets, and we're talking about physical intimacy. We're talking about faith. We're talking about friendships. Like when I tell you all, I take people through their paces. We talk about people's past trauma, their past relationships. I mean, I just take people through their paces and their head be spinning. They leave here and their head be spinning. And sometimes people will say, what's the percentage of people that after going through pre-engagement or premarital that they don't get engaged or they don't get married? It's roughly around 10%. Around 10% of people, like, they say, you know what? We might not be a good fit for each other. There's some things that came out in this that opened my eyes. It helped me to see, that we don't want the same thing. We don't have the same goal. One of the goals that every couple should have is relationship satisfaction. That has to be something that both people are committed to. I'm going to do my part to make this feel good for you. And the other person says that to me. I'm going to do my part, Anita, to make this feel good for you. That's it. Relationship satisfaction. That is our commitment. That should be our goal. And here's the reason why that's so important. I don't know of anybody that's leaving a physical intimacy filled, loving, fun, adventurous, warm, exciting, respectful, kind. Like, I don't see anybody leaving that. I don't see anybody leaving a relationship that's good, right? Nobody wakes up the next day and says, you know what, you're so great. Our relationship is so amazing. I want a divorce. Like, that doesn't happen. But instead, we say, we've got to stick it out. We've got to be in this till death do us part. That's what we say. And we wonder why our relationships are so messed up. We're not prioritizing the relationship being good, the relationship being fun, it feeling respectful and kind, and me feeling cherished, and you feeling like, oh, I feel so admired by my wife. I feel so supported by my wife. I feel so genuinely cared for. Like, when we have that, people don't leave that. So that is my goal. And I have had clients not work with me. I've had clients call me up. It was a husband. I can think of him 2 months ago. He called me. He said, look, I just need to know that you're committed to keeping us together. I said, no, I'm not. I was like, no, I'm not. He said, what? What? No, I'm interested in making your marriage better. I'm interested in making your marriage feel good for the both of you. I'm interested in relational satisfaction. If you're coming here to get me to wave a magic wand over you and your wife so she'll stay with you for 50 miserable years, you've called the wrong person. I'm not interested in that. I'm interested in the two of you being committed to having the most amazing, wonderful, love-filled, physical intimacy-filled relationship ever. That is what I'm interested in. That's what I'm going to help you to do. And so, he didn't like that answer. And he went on down the road to somebody who was going to keep his wife there. And you know what that said to me? Can I be honest? And men, I'm not picking on the men. This is just an example I'm giving. That said to me that this man wasn't going to change a thing. He was going to keep being who he was. He just wanted his wife to put up with it. And I ain't co-signing that. I don't co-sign that, bruh. If whatever it is you doing, like, is making her feel a way on the regular, I'm not going to talk her into staying with that. You have to do better. And vice versa. If the woman called, boy, just keep him here. Keep him from leaving. Okay, what is you doing or not doing? That's the question I have, because that's not the goal, to just keep him with you. I want the relationship to feel good. I want the relationship to meet the needs of the two people within it. So, nope. I don't, And I'm direct. Y'all, there are times when I'm in session and I be direct, and when the session's over, I be like, they not coming back. They not coming back. I went a little too far, right? It happened all the time. I'm like, oh, I went a little too far. And they come back. And they come back in. So maybe the world needs more of that. Maybe the world needs more radical honesty. Okay? Out of the 50 questions, how many do you feel like they should compromise on or agree on to be successful? 60 or 70%. So the idea is, it's not about a percentage. These conversations are giving you information. So it's not about a percentage. You're having these conversations so the two of you can get information. Here's a big reality about people who get married. They get married without having all the knowledge that they need about the other person. That's a problem for me. That's a huge problem for me. That there are all these things that you haven't talked about, that you haven't explored with each other, that you haven't seen in each other. But you're willing to give this person the highest commitment in our land. And it's like giving them a blank check. You don't know what's going to come out. You don't know what number is going to come on that check. No, I believe in knowledge. I believe in giving people the power, I believe in empowering people and them having knowledge. That's how you make good decisions, is you get knowledge. You get information about the other person. That's what the 50 conversations is about. It gives both of you knowledge. So if you have a conversation about child rearing, and so this is how that conversation goes. Do you want to have kids? Yeah, I want to have kids. Me too. How many kids do you think you might want to have? Well, I might want to have 3. Well, I might want to have 2. Okay. I mean, maybe we can compromise on that. I mean, okay, great. How do you feel about spanking? Well, I think children should be spanked. I mean, I'm down with that, because when they little and I can't talk to them, I mean, I got to handle my business. And then the other person say, oh, I would never spank little Johnny. That sounds horrible. I just can't condone that. Information. So you just got some information about the other person. And guess what, y'all? The goal is not to change their mind. The goal is not necessarily to compromise, because there might be some things in there that you can't compromise on. The goal is knowledge. You take that knowledge and you do with it what you will, right? If I find out something about a person that I'm thinking about getting married to, and there is, and y'all don't want to hear this, but there are some things that there is no compromise. There are some things that you believe this and I believe this. And guess what? That automatically means we are not compatible. But we don't want to have that conversation, because you know why? You love the person, and love is all we need. And that's all, as long as we got love, it's going to work out. No, you need to be compatible. I got my 6 C's right here. I keep it on my desk, and we're going to talk about them. Don't rush into love. You're right. And this fall into love. Oh, I hate that. I'm not falling anywhere. Okay, he said, I'm not even in a relationship. I'm just learning. Good. See, this is the time. This is the time to learn. Okay, my 6 C's. Number 1, and I added a 7th one. Number 1, and this is in order of importance. Pay attention. Number 1 is Christ. Now, I'm a believer So that's why that's always going to be my number one. These are the things, the 6 C's that the healthy relationship must have. And we must agree. We must agree to these 6 C's. So the number one is Christ. Christ must be in the midst of your relationship or your marriage. And you both have to have that as the beacon. So if I say, yes, Christ is the light. He's my beacon. And the other person's like, well, see, we starting off on the wrong foot. So that's the first one. The second one is commitment. We must commit. We must have the same level of commitment to each other and to a similar goal. So what did I say at the beginning of this live? What's the goal? We commit to making this a relationship that feels good for both of us. We commit to making this a relationship that meets the needs of both of us. That's the commitment. So commitment to each other, commitment to the relationship, commitment to fidelity, commitment to growth, the growth mindset, right? That's number 2. Number 3 is communication, healthy communication, effective communication. Don't cuss at me. Don't curse me out. Like, don't, right? I'm out. I cannot receive that at all. Do not curse at me. Do not call me names. Do not be passive aggressive, right? Don't do that. Those are the things that'll make me, this is not for me. But healthy communication. Speak from I. Tell me how you feel. Tell me what's going on. Tell me what you need. Tell me how I can be a part of the solution. Like, all of that feels great. Number 4, compatibility. Basic compatibility. We want the same thing. We want it at the same time. We have a certain amount, and it's not going to be 100%, but it should be high. It should be 60, 70% compatibility. We have similar goals, similar lifestyles, similar. We're similar. That was 4. Number 5 is connection. And we don't talk about this enough, the connection that you share with that person. Okay, there should be a connection there. And connection is not chemistry. Chemistry is in there. That's number 6. Is chemistry. And notice how that was the last one. Chemistry is the last one of importance on this list. Because to me, that's the easiest one. I can wrap my arms around a man and be like, ooh, girl. Oh, Lord. See, that's easy. I can put my hand on his hand. I can kiss him and be like, girl. But see, it's these other 5. The chemistry simply lets me know that my body likes his body. That something about him is familiar to me. His pheromones and my pheromones is a good mix. That's all it says. It don't say that he gonna be a good father. It don't say that she gonna be a good mother. It don't say he gonna be a good provider. It don't say she gonna respect you. It don't say none of that. It simply says our bodies like each other. And that is not something to build a marriage on. Chemistry. I put chemistry last. Now the last one, I'm trying to figure out where to put it in this list. So I may redo this list. But I came up with conflict skills. I think that's super important. You have to have good conflict skills with your person. You all have to have similar fighting styles. You have to have a similar style of making up. Right? So you have to know how to fight. You have to fight fair. And you also have to know how to make up. A lot of people suck at making up. They get stuck. They get stuck in the bad feelings and they never repair the breach. They never repair the crack. You have to know how to repair the crack. Okay? But this is what I teach people. And we take it step by step by step. I unpack each of those C's. But that is what we're missing today. That we're missing just maturity in women and men. People are immature. We're missing selflessness, a certain air of selflessness. People are selfish, right? I start talking about this and they're like, well, what about me? What am I going to get what I want? I'm like, can we just focus on this? Because, and I want this and I want that. I feel empty inside okay, we're going to get to that. Like, come on back. So Relationship satisfaction. It is that important. It really is. And really, it's the thing that you should be committing to. I don't commit. This is going to sound crazy, but this is something that one of my mentors, Dr. Pat Allen, taught me. She said, Anita, you do not commit to a person. You commit to the relationship. You commit to making the relationship good and making the relationship positive, making the relationship supportive and loving. You commit to fidelity within the relationship, and you commit to the growth of the relationship. You commit to the relationship you want to have. And if both people do that, everything else falls into place. But see, when we commit to the person, we let things slip in the relationship, because all we see, this is where that whole time thing, all we see is, I just got to stick it out with this person. Forget the fact that the relationship is crappy. I just got to be with them. I just got to stay with them. Really? And y'all, I've been seeing some craziness online. There's a young couple. I think the boy's name is Blueface. And the girl, what's the girl's name? I can't remember, but this young couple, I mean, if it ain't every week, they get into a fight, a physical fight, punching each other, slapping each other, throwing each other down, and then it gets videotaped. Like, this is what's crazy in my mind. Every week they fighting and it gets videotaped, and somebody sell it to somebody and it'd be on World Star. But here's the thing. They think they're committed to each other. Forget the fact that the relationship is crap. They're just like, nope, we just ain't leaving each other. We're not leaving each other alone. No, thank you. No, thank you. Commit to the relationship being healthy. Commit to getting each other's needs met in the relationship. That's what I want you to do. People are valuable, right? That's why committing to a person, that basically means you're saying, I'm committing to this person either staying the way they are or changing into what I want them to be. But guess what? If that don't happen, there goes your commitment. There goes your commitment, because you're like, nope, this is not what I signed up for. This, gotta go. Here we go. Commit to the relationship. That's what healthy, mature people do. They commit to making the relationship feel as good as it can feel for each other. Okay? Good talk. Thank you so much for joining me for this live. And remember, there is a subscription service now through Instagram. You may subscribe. And I believe what I'm going to do is have subscription only IG lives on Sunday. Sunday is my content creation day. I think that's a good day. I think most people, for the most part, are going to be chilling Sunday afternoon, Sunday evening. So Sundays, I will start having subscription only IG lives. I will do question and answer for subscription only folks. So if you are interested in setting up a subscription to the Better Love Movement Instagram page, all you're going to do is go to the link, go to my bio link. It'll say subscription, and you're going to push that button. Simple, simple, simple. Just hit the little thing, hit subscription, and you're good. All right. Thank you so much for joining me this evening, and I hope you all have a wonderful Friday. I have more clients to see, and then I'm headed out, but have a great evening. And as always, stay open to love.